It's Thursday, January 11th. Welcome to the PDB Afternoon Bulletin. I'm Mike Baker, your eyes and ears on the world stage. Let's get briefed. First, more maritime tensions as Iran sees an oil tanker in the Gulf of Oman today. I'll give you the details of what happened and how Iran is justifying their actions. Also, we return to the territorial dispute in South America, where the U.S. is helping Guyana bolster their military capabilities amid concerns about Venezuela's future plans regarding the oil-rich region of Essequibo. But first, our afternoon spotlight. In a significant development, the Iranian Navy has seized an oil tanker off the coast of Oman. The vessel that was seized, the St. Nikolas, has been at the heart of a dispute between Iran and the United States for going on 2 years now. The UK Marine Trade Operations disclosed on social media that 4 to 5 individuals, described as, quote, unauthorized and armed, and clad in military-style black uniforms with masks, boarded the ship. Following this incident, communication with the vessel was lost, and the vessel was observed diverting its course toward Iranian waters. The incident is particularly noteworthy due to its location. While most of our attention has been focused on the Red Sea and the disruptions to maritime trade caused by the Houthis in Yemen, the Iranian-backed Houthis in Yemen, this seizure occurred on the opposite side of the Arabian Peninsula. The St. Nicholas was approximately 50 nautical miles east of Sohar, a port city in Oman, near the strategically vital Strait of Hormuz at the mouth of the Persian Gulf. Empire Navigation, the Greek company that manages the St. Nicholas, provided further details. According to a spokesperson who spoke to CNBC, the tanker was traveling to the Turkish port of Aliaga after loading crude oil at an Iraqi terminal. The crew was made up of 18 Filipinos and 1 Greek national. In a statement following the seizure, the Iranian Navy declared, quote, "The Navy of the Islamic Republic of Iran seized an American oil tanker in the waters of the Gulf of Oman in accordance with a court order." Now, they accused the vessel of stealing Iran's oil on U.S. orders and transporting it to American shores. This dispute over the St. Nicholas traces back to early 2022. At that time, the St. Nicholas, then known as the Rajan, was implicated in violating U.S. sanctions. It was reportedly involved in a ship-to-ship transfer of Iranian oil near Singapore. In response to this violation, Empire Navigation transported the sanctioned cargo to Houston, where it was subsequently forfeited to the U.S. Department of Justice. As you can tell, Iran's perspective on the matter differs significantly. The nation contends that the forfeiture of its oil by the U.S. was, in fact, an act of theft by the U.S., rather than the enforcement of existing sanctions. Look, the bottom line here is that Iran is actively disrupting free trade and commercial shipping in the region with near impunity, whether through their own direct actions or through their sponsored, trained, and resourced proxies, such as the Houthi militants in Yemen. Despite stern warnings and harsh statements from the U.S. administration and allies, including the U.K., and the occasional small-scale counterstrike against the proxy Houthis, there has been no actual deterrence effort made to alter Iran's increasingly aggressive actions. Now, there is no reason to believe that Iran will change its behavior as it promotes instability in the region, and there is every reason to believe that the regime is continuing its march towards acquisition of nuclear weapons as well as appropriate delivery systems. At some point, the West will need to adapt an actual deterrence strategy, and that will be easier done ahead of the day when the Iranian regime declares that they are a member of the nuclear club. All right, coming up after the break, we return to our ongoing coverage of the territorial dispute in South America between Venezuela and Guyana, as the U.S. helps Guyana bolster their military preparedness. I'll be right back. Welcome back to the Afternoon Bulletin. I wanted to provide an update on the territorial dispute in South America between Venezuela and Guyana. As listeners of the PDB will remember, tensions have been building ever since Venezuela voted to annex a large portion of neighboring Guyana in the beginning of December. Guyana's government revealed Wednesday that they're seeking assistance from the U.S. to improve their defense capabilities, amid concerns about Venezuela's future plans regarding the oil-rich Essequibo region of Guyana. Essequibo is a massive territory. It makes up 2/3 of Guyana's entire territory. The announcement came on the heels of 2 days of talks between top Guyanese officials and Daniel Erickson, the U.S. Deputy Assistant Secretary of Defense for the Western Hemisphere. As the talks wrapped up late Tuesday, Erickson said the U.S. would be helping Guyana create a more organized, cohesive, and better-equipped military in the months ahead. Erickson did not elaborate on what the details of the arrangement would look like, but noted that security forces and specialized training teams that have already been working with Guyana's military will continue to do so throughout 2024. Following the talks, Erickson told reporters, quote, "One thing of great interest to us is ensuring that as Guyana looks to increase its defense capacities, it does so through a plan that is strategic, nested in its overall defense institutions, and sustainable over time," end quote. Erickson added, "We do recognize that Guyana is at a turning point in terms of its own economic development, in terms of the regional role that it is capable of playing, and so we want to make sure that our defense relationship with Guyana continues to meet the times as the situation in Guyana continues to evolve." While he avoided directly referring to the situation with Venezuela in his remarks to the press, Erickson appeared to be alluding to the threat that the Maduro regime poses to Guyana. Hostilities between Venezuela and Guyana eased somewhat following a face-to-face meeting between the two countries' leaders on December 14th. However, the situation later intensified again as Venezuela deployed nearly 6,000 military personnel on December 28th for defensive exercises in response to an approaching British warship. British officials had sent the warship in a show of diplomatic support for their South American ally and former colony. Still, both nations have pledged to keep the situation peaceful, saying in a joint statement in December that they will not threaten or use force against one another in any circumstances. They also agreed to form a joint commission that will deliver a report to address solutions to the dispute in roughly 3 months. Venezuelan President Maduro and Guianan President Irfan Ali are set to meet again in Brazil when the Joint Commission finishes their work. And that, my friends, is the PDB Afternoon Bulletin for Thursday, 11 January. If you have any questions or comments, please reach out to me at pdb@thefirsttv.com. I'm Mike Baker. I'll be back tomorrow. Until then, stay informed, stay safe, stay cool.